Tanzania, home to some of the world's best safaris, culture, and of course, home to the roof of Africa and one of the world's 7 summits, Kilimanjaro. It's the world's highest freestanding mountain, and the climb will take us through the most amazing and diverse landscapes. Before the climb, we spend a day at UHURU National Park. A short walk at 6,000 feet elevation allows us to begin to acclimate, but also see some beautiful countryside and animals. I had hoped to see some of the wildlife on my trip, but I never expected to get this close to them. Zebra, giraffe, buffalo, monkeys, they all came out to greet us. The monkeys weren't the only thing looking down on us. As we peered through the trees, we got our first glimpse of the mountain, a snow-capped Kilimanjaro. Day 1, we arrive at the trailhead. We're taking the Umbwe route, arguably the most challenging. Fortunately for us, we have a lot of help. No less than 32 porters are there to assist us in carrying supplies up the mountain. Their stamina and their work ethic rival anything that I've ever seen. We just wrapped up day 1, our first day of 6 on Mount Kilimanjaro, and this day was so epic. I always knew this would be an awesome climb, but I didn't expect to hike through a jungle like this. The jungle was absolutely stunning, and we were slip sliding through mud for a while, and then found some really incredible single track, and then just out of nowhere the trees parted, and Mount Kilimanjaro and all of its snow-covered amazingness was just staring at us right in the face. We stopped and had a picnic lunch in the middle of the road. It's
quite the spread.
We had quiche and chicken and fruit, and it was just, I know there is a way to do Kilimanjaro that's lean and mean and dirty, and I'd happily do that, but we came with this outfitter that does a really nice job, and it's plush. I mean, we've got 32 porters on this trip, which seems like overkill until you sit down at the mess hall and you have a feast. Your tent's already set up, and there's a foam pad rolled out, and they've carried your bag, and it is kind of like luxury summiting or luxury hiking, and I'm okay with it. Like, I'm not going to fight it. I've done a lot of really hard, brutal climbs in my life, and this is kind of more of a cultural experience, to come into camp and have them singing, welcoming you. It's a really, really neat cultural experience. I think that's what I love about this climb. And every mountain's a little bit different, and certainly when you're thinking about the 7 summits, everyone presents a different challenge and everyone presents a different opportunity. The challenge here is maybe going so slow, and we were really, really going slow. The athlete in me wanted to just rip up the first 4,000 feet as fast as I could, and they kept saying pole, 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 which means slowly, slowly, slowly. And I know that will be really helpful on top of this mountain, but damn it, we were walking slow today, and it was frustrating. So that's the challenge for me, is just practicing patience, and then the opportunity again is just to experience this culture with 32 porters up on the mountain singing and cheering us along. It's a really cool experience.
Make sure you take off the wet clothing, put on the warm. Make sure you are warm and cozy.
Oh, that's nice. Day 1 in the books. Well, they woke us up with tea in bed, so that's really nice. It's about 6 a.m. and we're going to climb from the Umbwe Caves camp, where we are right now, up to BARRANCO at 13,000 feet. That's another 3 miles and another 3,300 feet that we're going to climb up. One of the most incredible and unique aspects of climbing Kilimanjaro is that it takes you through several distinct climate zones. We began in the plains and hiked through the rainforest, and it wasn't until day 2 that we emerged into the moorland. Equal parts eerie and beautiful, it's my favorite. We went through the rainforest to the alpine forest, and I don't even know what you'd call this. Equally impressive is watching the porters move up this mountain. Many of them are carrying huge loads on their back and their head. 50, 60, 70 pounds is not uncommon. I can't imagine how they do it. Whew. Interesting fact, we're as high as the summit of Mount Hood right now. Looks a little different though. Lunch at 12,000 feet. In the moorland here.
All right.
Pretty beautiful.
Well done, guys. We have done it kind of like a big portion of inboard. Well done. Good job.
Yeah. Sante sana.
As we emerge from the forest, we enter a strange new world populated by some of the most incredible trees I've ever seen. The fog that has settled on the mountain really adds to the mysteriousness of everything. It started raining when we got through the jungle into the moorland here. And it got really cold, so we were fighting to stay dry. I'm dry now. Had to peel off all the wet gear. So, while I'm still warm, I'll hang out in me socks and skivvies, try and get the sleeping bag and sleeping pad set up. It was an awesome climb. It was crazy coming out of jungle into, what do they call it, alpine forest, and then into the heather or moorland that we're in now. And they set up all the tents for us, so we're dry now. I'll throw some gear on. Barking spiders left and right. Oh, no, just lay down.
Okay, washi.
Washi.
Okay. Karibu.
Oh, it's
Enjoy your mountain.
Thank you.
Thank
Yes,
you.
absolutely. It's nice to be prone and comfortable after a long day of climbing. We rolled in about 3 o'clock and the tents were all set up. All we had to do is lay out our sleeping bags, and it's really warm actually in here. It's not raining right now, and we're hoping that the clouds will lift off, and we'll actually get a really good view of the summit from this camp. Here we go on the start of day 3. We're leaving Barranco camp behind us to climb the Barranco wall that way. We'll go up 800 feet and then drop into camp 3. This is awesome. The porters are all racing ahead of us, and it's finally starting to dry out. Left route. Just like Karsten's. Sitting here watching the sunset at Camp 3, KARANGA, which means peanut in Swahili. We started at 13,000 feet in Barranco and climbed the Barranco wall, which was kind of this goat trail, class 3, class 4 scrambling up a wall. But then once we got to the top, we had this absolute stunning view of the summit of Mount Kilimanjaro, and we only had it for a minute or two. The clouds came back in, and just like that it was gone. But then we had this really wonderful rolling traverse at 13,800 feet, and it was just so beautiful the whole way along. All right, well, this has definitely been my favorite section. About 13,500 feet and totally flat for a mile. Our guide Loshi
Safi, karibu.
let us split from the group, and we actually went ahead and got to stretch our legs out a bit. And then we came into here, and behind me is Camp 3, KARANGA. It was kind of a short day. We only walked 3 miles, and net elevation gain of only about 300 feet, so we kind of get a chance to get acclimated some more before we go to Camp 4, which is at 15,000 feet. So tomorrow will be a short day, only 2,000 feet of elevation change, but that's actually our preparation camp, our base camp, where we will prepare for our summit bid the night following. It's been an absolutely amazing climb so far. You know, a lot of my climbs, I feel like I go on this emotional roller coaster, up and down, highs and lows, and this climb has just been really steady. The jungle was beautiful, the moorland was beautiful. Now here in the alpine desert, it's equally beautiful, and I just haven't had, knock on wood, I haven't had any setbacks. No twisted ankles, no stomach issues. The food has been phenomenal. Our porters, our guides have been so positive and happy and helpful. I think that if someone is interested in getting into big mountain climbing, there's no better one to start with than Kilimanjaro. They take good care of you, and it's just so beautiful. Knock, knock.
When climbing, it's important to start each day off right. A trip to the toilet, proper hydration, and a little energy boost can set you off on the right foot. This is critical when you plan to take tens of thousands of steps up a steep mountain. On the mountain, you don't get to choose your weather, and I'll climb through anything, but it is so nice to start the day with the sun shining.
We are now most definitely in high alpine desert, and we're actually at the same elevation as the summit of Mount Whitney, and it kind of looks like the summit of Mount Whitney actually, 14,500 feet. And the difference is here, if you turn around, we've got another 4,000 vertical feet to go. Feeling pretty good though. This is the middle of day 4, and just around over my shoulder here is our camp Barafu, which means cold in Swahili. And that's where we're off to now. Resting up for the big push to the summit. 4,000 vertical feet left to go. We're getting up to climb 4,000 vertical feet to the summit, and I feel terrible. Is there ever a more perfect application for run gum? I don't know. I'm hurting. I rode just over 17,000. I'm struggling. Dizzy, nauseous. Trying to put one foot in front of the other.
Hakuna Matata, tembea pole pole, Hakuna Matata. Good job, guys.
The highest I'd ever been before this was 16,000 feet. This night, each step I took was a new personal best, but also a place my body had never been before. And to be honest, it was a little scary to push into this unfamiliar darkness. Having great guides with us made it easier. They sang to us most of the way up. As frustrated as I had been on the lower mountain hearing pole pole, the guides telling me to take it slow, pole pole was exactly what I needed as we finished the last 1,000 feet to the summit. Around 18,000 feet and approximately 6 a.m., the sun began to make its way over the horizon. The light and the warmth it provided was exactly what I needed and gave me the confidence to push on. I had dreamed of coming to Africa since I was a little boy, but never in my dreams did I imagine standing atop a glacier near the equator. As I struggled to put one foot in front of the other, our head guide Respicious was smiling ear to ear. By his estimation, he had climbed this mountain several hundred times, and had actually climbed 5 of the 7 summits, the highest mountain on every continent. His knowledge, wisdom, passion, and excitement made him the perfect guide as we continued along the final ridge towards the summit. UHURU Peak, the summit of Mount Kilimanjaro, 19,341 feet above sea level. In Swahili, UHURU means freedom, and I'd never felt more free in my life.
I've climbed a lot of mountains, and this one is by far the hardest one I've ever climbed. I'd never been above 16,000 feet, and to go to 19,341 feet was really, really hard. I was spinning I mean, literally, I've never felt that way before on a summit. It was unlike anything else I'd ever experienced. I didn't even know where I was for a minute. You know, I looked around. I'm like, wow, this is beautiful scenery. Where am I? That's how dizzy I was with the lack of oxygen. So it was a really long day, and we have to pack up camp, or rather, our awesome porters are going to pack up camp, and we're going to hike down to 12,500 feet and sleep here one more night, and then we'll hike out of the national park tomorrow. To be honest, my lungs are just craving some oxygen. We're still at 15,000 feet right now. I really want to get back to sea level tomorrow. If something goes wrong on the mountain, or if you're just really lazy like me,
You lift it.
yeah, then you take the, what do you call it? The Kilimanjaro Express.
You ready?
Yeah,
Here we go.
this is nice.
Could have brought you up the mountain this way.
The whole way, please.
The whole way.
Yeah, the whole way. Wow.
Is it comfortable?
Not bad. Tipping ceremony. How long have you been guiding on this mountain?
It's about 20 years now.
Wow.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of Americans back home that think that, 20,000 feet, they can't do it. You say you've got little girls and old people and young and weak and everybody in between that's gotten up and down.
Yeah, what I can say now, if somebody asks me, can I do the mountain? I can say, yeah, anybody can do it. As long as you take care of yourself, you get a good advice, you get a good guide, the mountain is there.
Yeah.
Anybody can do it.
Take your time, pole pole.
Yeah, pole.
The porters don't know the mean of Pole Pole, who flew down the mountain, many of which had a climb scheduled for just the next day.
One bottle. Thank you, man. Good meeting you. Have a good day. Study hard. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. One bottle? No problem.
It's hard to describe the feeling of accomplishment after climbing a mountain like Kilimanjaro. But perhaps even more special on this climb are the memories I'll take of our guides and porters cheering us up and down the mountain. While it is possible to climb Kilimanjaro without porters and guides, I certainly don't know why anyone would want to.
A little more oxygen down here.